first on the list here, we have Toast. What do you have for us today?
I don't even know anymore. What were we talking about earlier?
Your series. What series do you want to talk
I
talk
mean, I
about?
want to talk about Oshinoko, but we're gonna say that for later, right? Okay.
Yeah, Oshinoko is
What?
gonna be pretty much down the line, way down the line.
So let me tell you a story. All right.
Okay.
No, wait, I already told it. Never mind.
What?
What?
Are you okay?
I no.
All right.
All right.
What
So
what series? What series am I talking about?
I don't know.
You're talking about cheat skill.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was sorry. I was gonna talk about the other one, but my bad. All right. So cheat skill in another world. What's it called? I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. Yeah, that's the series I did.
Awesome.
It's basically what the heck is that series called? What's that series? That was a same.
The issue is
What?
I
Cheat
understand
magician?
Toast.
No. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I was thinking. I'm like, oh, hold on. I'm thinking of the different series. I'm thinking of like 3 different series at once. So this series is a combination of
The thing is, I don't blame Toast. I don't blame Toast because
Yeah.
so yes, or today, right? This morning when I was trying to maybe watch a couple of episodes of Cheat Skill in Another World, I was typing Cheat Skill in Another World, and then I was like, wait a minute, is this like specific enough? Because I know that there are at least 3 other like web novels or visual novels that I've seen, much less exists in the entire like universe, right? That have cheat skill in another world in their title. So I'm
Awesome.
just sitting here like, fuck. Like I could go through like 3 pages of Google searches and not find the right one. So
the
it's like,
biggest, like the most common word in this genre is they use the word cheat.
yeah, cheat skill and skill. You have to have the
Yeah,
skill. It's like
but
Yeah,
like
it has to be a skill because otherwise it's just cheating.
yeah.
because my favorite word of the use or my favorite use of the word cheat is still the way they use it in Sao.
What is it?
Don't you remember?
No.
It's the famous one, the beater. Because
Uh,
you're a cheetah, you're a cheater and a beta player. That
yes.
makes him a beater,
The lonely
Yes. Yes.
beater.
Yeah.
a lonely beater. Yeah, I think he was the only beater, wasn't he? The rest
Um,
died.
did they say that? Did they say all the beta testers died? I don't know.
I don't
He was the lonely beater though.
because
So
there was the beta tester dude. There was one other who was like the main leader of the group that tried to tackle the first floor boss, but he died. So I guess.
Anyways,
Oh yeah, we're talking about.
that's
It's a
not
combination
what is
between
this series?
this series, Cheat Skill Another World is a combination of Excel World, Shinkanomi,
Ha!
and
You're like literally not. Wait, is this done by? This is done by Itagaki Shin. What the fuck?
I don't know who
damn.
that is.
Itagaki Shin is one of the. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff, but it's like he's done like Princess Mononoke.
I
I
love
forget he's not.
Copcraft.
Um, I forget he's not. I keep. I keep thinking
Are you
that
okay?
he's one of the Wait, no, he is one of the Shaft trio, right?
Um,
It's him, it's
he's
Onuma Shin, and it's Akiyuki Shimbo, right?
yeah,
That was
he's
the
worked on a
original.
lot of shaft stuff if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
So essentially
He's
there
also
are
been on I think TQ for a long time, which is pretty funny.
yeah. So essentially
When's the
for
next
those of you
TQ
who don't
season?
I have no
um,
idea.
We should make it again. But yeah, continue. You're,
essentially for those of you who don't know, there are like kind of 3 people in Shaft, but or 3 people that were in Shaft that kind of worked during the real rise to power of Akiyuki Shimbo, and it was Akiyuki Shimbo, Itagaki Shin, I think Itagaki Shin, and I know Onuma. No, wait, no, it's just Onuma and Akiyuki Shimbo. I think Itagaki might have been different, although he did work on Shaft stuff. But
Think
yeah,
so, yeah.
anyways, yeah. But he's
I'm
an
pretty
old head.
sure, yeah, Itagaki Shin's a old Gainax head.
Yeah. Oh
back in the
yeah,
days.
it's Gainax. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember. Okay.
But I
Yeah.
will say I
My
do like
memory is really
Itagaki
bad. I
Shin
apologize.
better than I do Akiyuki Shimbo. And what's the other one that I don't like? Who else did Bakemonogatari that I don't like? Nisio Isin. I don't like that guy either, or that person.
Iseosu is literally the guy who wrote
Is he?
Monogatari. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like that person. They're weird.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
I don't
But,
like their movies. I should say I do like Bakemonogatari, but like their movies. Is it their movies? Which is the one
What?
that just came out?
Kizu?
Suzume.
Oh,
Wari
what?
Monogatari?
Who
Which
made
one?
Suzume? That's Makoto Shinkai.
Makoto
Never
Shinkai?
mind.
You're
I
like
don't like that
confusing
guy.
like 3 different universes.
They all
Of,
blend
like,
together. They all blend together in my head. Makoto Shinkai.
yeah.
I don't like that
I
guy.
mean, I can't fault Toast too much because my memory is really shitty too. So,
Like
anyways.
he makes all the same movies, but like slightly different variations. Weathering
Yeah,
with
no,
You,
I mean you're
Suzume.
you're correct.
I do like Your Name. I will say Your Name is pretty good.
So
But
wait,
yeah,
this I was skimming over this. I got a cheat skill in another world. This is by Milipensi. By the way, if you guys don't know why I'm like,
Oh.
why I like have a trepidation, because I covered. No, you wait. Who covered Berserk in here? Like the new
I
Berserk.
did, dude.
You did New Berserk, which was Milipensi and that other fucking like London studio or whatever the fuck it
Yeah.
was, right?
Gemba.
Yeah, Gemba, and Milipensi. I think Milipensi was the London studio, and then I also covered that one fucking anime about the blimps or the steampunk blimps or whatever that still had really shitty 3D, and that
Is
was
that
also
the
Milipensi series.
is that the one where the dragon eats the girl?
No, I don't think so. It was
Beer
slightly
Mum's a
different. It
series.
was like,
Milipensi is the TQ studio, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, exactly.
oh fuck,
TQ
you're
is
right.
great. How dare
Studio
you?
in quotes, I
I
think.
mean, they did Copcraft.
Didn't you not like Copcraft?
I didn't cover it. I think
Yeah.
Dark did.
Dark, didn't you hate? I know you guys didn't like Copcraft. You got bored of it.
Which was Copcraft? Copcraft was the. Oh, no. So Copcraft was very hit or miss with some of his visuals. Was the problem? Like some of its
Yeah,
visuals were like
Milipensi,
really really
like
bad,
source material
and then
aside,
other
Milipensi's
visuals were
visual
like pretty
department is
good.
lacking. Yeah,
Well,
but
going off of that, the visuals in this series is pretty good. I will say that
pretty consistent. Okay,
pretty good
or maybe
compared
they
to
got
most
the money.
isekais.
Yeah.
Money, yeah, right. Well, maybe. I mean, like I said, I actually really like the way this anime looks.
Mhm.
But yeah, where are we going with this? I don't know. Where was I? Oh yeah, it's a combination of Excel World and Shinken no Mika's about a fat guy. Like you got this obese,
A
overweight
fat
guy.
guy gets isekai'd into, and he becomes a cool guy. Is that what it is?
Sure, yeah. But like the reasoning is he the reasoning is similar to Shinkonomi is what he's a fat guy and he accidentally kills something, then he levels up to like level 100, and then now he's a hot dude because he optimized his stats or whatever. The
Mhm.
perfect human being, I guess, because he was level 1 before. Level 1 fat guy, now level 100 hot guy. Damn,
Mafia boss, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, and let me start at the beginning. So he's a guy. He's a fat guy. He's always been bullied because he's fat, whatever. But he's like his family hates him. They disown him and whatnot because he's
Why?
fat and
Because he's
ugly.
fat?
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy
That's kind
shit!
of fucked
Standard
up, dude.
reason, that's
Like
how it works.
he's the
Get out of the
ugly
family.
duckling
You're
of his
fat.
family. The rest of his family is like good looking. He's like, oh, I don't like this fatty.
What the fuck, dude?
Pretty much, yeah. And like the only one who was nice to him was his grandfather. He's always been like, be nice to other people, Yuya. That's the main character's name. What's his name?
Wow.
Yuya Tenjo. So, like, and he's all like, be nice to people, and one day you'll get rewarded. You'll find your own happiness. He's like, okay. And so when he's walking across the street, he saves his girl from the usual group of thugs. Her name is Kaori Hojo and whatnot. So when he saves the girl, and he saves the girl, he's like, "Oh, thank you for saving me." He's like, "Don't worry about it." And he goes home and gets beat up or something, and something like that. He goes home and he's like, "Oh, why am I such like? Where's my happiness?" Like, and whatnot. Then he punches a mirror, and it opens up a secret door in his grandfather's estate because, like, seriously, not his family beats him up, but they also disown him and whatnot. So he lives by himself in his grandfather's old house because when the grandfather died, he was like, "Oh, I only like you, Yuya." So he gained
Nice.
the grandfather's inheritance and whatnot, and the family, since they disowned him, they don't get any of it, something like that. They made it so like only Yuya gets the full inheritance from his grandfather and not his parents
Yeah, I
and his
watched Knives
siblings.
Out.
Yeah. So he finds a hidden compartment in the grandfather's house. He finds a bunch of isekai stuff and a magic door, and the magic door leads him to his grandfather's isekai house where it has all this cool legendary equipment and stuff. So that's when he steps out. He finds some weapons, and then that's when he accidentally kills a red ogre and levels up. And now he's a hot guy. And now this series is a basically him traveling between worlds,
And being awesome.
like through this magical door in his house where he's trying to live the life of an ordinary student who's now from going from a fat guy
Awesome.
and
Wait,
now he's a hot guy.
so he can travel between worlds?
Yeah,
Why?
that's why there's a
Because that's awesome, dear. That's
because
why.
his
Why are you even
grandfather.
asking?
Yeah, near his grandfather was. It's hinted that like, oh, this is the house of the great sage of the other world.
So
So his grandfather was probably a great sage.
so is he still a fat loser in the real world or?
No,
No, he's just cool forever, bro. He can
Oh.
also travel between worlds.
actually leveled up and
This
like he got.
guy is like, wow. Like he thinks that this. Like,
Wait, so
are you suggesting that
so
that would be
why
cool,
so
dear?
why even go back to the Isekai world, right? Like why not just live
Because
it
the
up
isekai world is
in the real
fucking
world?
cool, dude.
Yeah,
Actually,
because
Dark.
that's cool. That's how cool things work. You can be with the dragons at the academies, but you can also have the world travel power.
I'm
That's
gonna
how
stop
cool
you
it
there,
works.
Dark, because I'll let me just say the isekai part of this series is actually the boring part.
Damn.
Really, it's like,
Nice.
oh, he lives in like this dark, like super high level monster woods, and then he meets a princess there, and I'm like, that's cool and all, but this part's kind of boring. The actual interesting part is where he's trying to adjust his cheat skills to the real world because so far there's 4 episodes in, nothing really interesting happens. Isekai part where like, oh, he saves a princess, and the princess is like, oh, you're my savior, let me meet your king. He's like, no, no thanks, and whatnot. But all the real character development is when he's in the real where he's in Japan, like, oh, he has to adjust to being popular, and or sorry, what happens is now that he's good looking or whatever, like he's being treated differently by his classmates because he used to be the class's gopher and gets beat up, but now he's like, oh damn, over the summer he got hot. Oh no, we can't bully him anymore because he's taller than me, and he's got these martial arts abilities that he learned in the other world, so can't mess with him anymore. And the girl that he saved, Kaori, apparently is the chairman of the, the chairman's daughter of the prestigious Osei Academy. The most prestigious school in the city, and he got invited there because he saved the chairman's daughter, and so now he's in a new school where no one knows that he was this ugly fat loser, and now he has to adjust to that, just to having a normal school life and stuff.
But yeah,
Uh-huh.
is this like the standard mini arcs, and then he does like cool stuff and defeats the mini bosses on each mini arc, or what's happening?
I
Is this
guess so far,
there's
the
not much slow life, right? It's mostly like mini arcs, like oh, there's like this weird enemy in like real life or in on the in this Isekai world, and he has to use his powers to defeat them,
well,
and
like I
he
said, like
also
the
gains
isekai
heroic
stuff
strength.
is pretty mid. There's nothing really happening. All the interesting stuff is happening in school. Like you know how his brother and sister were also beating him up because he's fat and ugly, even though he's their older brother.
Okay.
So when Kaori came over, was like, "Hey, we're gonna invite you to Osei Academy because you're a good person and you saved me from, I guess, rapists that one time." The brother and sister were like,
Okay.
oh hey, we're this is I believe we're in middle school. Why don't we go to Osei Academy too if our brother is going? Because we're hot and handsome. And she's like, no, you're not good people. We looked up, we did a background check on you. We know that you've been beating him up, and you're working with this like biker gang in order to beat him up. So Osai Academy doesn't need scum like you
Hmm.
and whatnot. And then it comes back in episode 4 where the brother and sister they hire a biker gang to come and disrupt the school, whatever. And then you remember that one scene where there was that biker gang in Planad, and Tomoyo beats him up with a kick. It's
Hmm.
kind of like that. So they come to disturb his new school, so he beats them up. And then the brother and sister like, damn, you biker gang is worthless. Then the lead of the biker gangs are like, damn, this is all your fault. I'm gonna kill you. And he like chokes out their brother. And then Yuya's like, Snow, stop that. He's my family. And he saves them. And then they're like, oh, we're sorry that we beat you up. All that good stuff. Revenge arc completed, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty standard. But what can I say? I kind of like the series because I
You
kind of
like
like
this
the
series?
I like the protagonist better than most
You like the protagonist?
better than
Wait,
other
why?
isekai protagonists because it's usually whenever they try to write the standard isekai protagonist like, oh, I'm a random normal Japanese student who fell into this and be like, oh, I'm gonna go with the flow or whatever.
Right.
They don't have like a set character like trait. It's literally like on the author's whim. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, there's no real character
Yes.
development in
Sure.
most standard
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a
Japanese
self-insert.
man.
He's supposed to be the meek, mild-mannered like guy who also loves friendship and miso soup or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
like, oh, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, but I'm also gonna contradict and like, oh well, they go with the flow and whatnot. But with Yuya,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a lot more of a superhero syndrome kind of way, but it's still better written.
What do you mean?
Like in his entire life, he's bullied, but his grandfather instills into him like be good to other people, you'll find your own happiness. So right out of the gate, the main character is a good guy. So he's like, I don't know, a typical
Well, they're
shonen
all generally good
protagonist.
guys, though, right?
Not
But I,
all,
I
not
think
not
I
all of
kind
them.
of understand.
Like I said,
Well, most of them ultimately take like the author wants it to be as much of like a fantasy as possible. So most of
yeah,
them kind of take it upon themselves to be like, yeah, of course I'll save the kitten from the tree, kind of vibes, right? With the main characters. But I do kind of understand where you go getting at. But where does what I'm curious about is what is the sort of um like enemy in each like mini arc? Because you said the isekai part is the boring part, right? But then does that mean he finds enemies in the real world?
the
What's
only
happening
enemy
there?
so far was his brother and sister who made fun of him and whatnot,
Okay.
and he brought the biker gang. But they reconciled after that because it showed him like, oh, we
So
really
what's the
are
conflict that
pieces of
he
shit.
like he goes through, or like, what like you have these like mini arcs, right? I'm guessing that there are mini
After
arcs
that,
because it's a very
I don't know. Really,
he's just like
it's just
macking on girls. What's happening
uh,
there?
no, I mean, this is the part where he's pretty sad. Like, oh, he's got pretty low like self-esteem. So because
Uh huh.
he's still the fat kid on the inside, I guess, mentally.
Hmm.
So he has to just to be like, oh hey, maybe there are nice people in the world, whatnot. So yeah, that's about
Well,
it.
the reason why I'm like kind of trying to dig into this is because it seems like the setting is a little bit of a um mess to me,
It is a
to
mess.
put it lightly. Yeah, because in a more standard setting, right? What you would have is maybe like if I had to pull it off the top of my head, you would have like some sort of secret like pawn shop like evil villain dude in the real world who's like trying to scam the protagonist on the real world side. On the isekai side, maybe you would have like some duke or some king that's like selfish and like greedy or whatever that the or some demon like mid boss that the protagonist has to defeat, and he'll be kind of like uh doing double time, right? Trying to defeat both of them, and those will kind of ravel off into different mini arcs, and he'll mac on the girls along the way, the harem stuff, whatever, the power frenzy, blah blah. Now you said that um, most of it's kind of him dealing with this growing character development, and that the isekai side is kind of not much, right, of anything. So I'm a little bit curious because the idea of him having the power and going through these things is to fight against these conflicts, right? Because it's like if there was no conflict, he would not need to be told like, "Oh, you have to be good to everybody," right? Because then that would be no trouble, right? He would just be good to everybody because everybody would be good people. But excuse me, the idea of him being told you have to be good, you have to save others, you have to be the good, is that there exists a bad that contrasts within the story, right? So it's a little bit interesting to me that in the story that there has not really been a clear, defined like baddie, as cheesy as it might be. But obviously the setting is cheesy enough. But uh, it's puzzling to me that there hasn't been a clear bad person, even if it's like a small like Duke or like whatever, in the Isekai series yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, we're 4 episodes in, and
That is true.
nothing really has happened yet. Like he hasn't even
So most
left
of it's kind
this.
of like a harem development kind of thing going on
I,
right now
I
in the
guess
first like.
because oh, the
Okay,
princess likes him, and then the Kaori likes him, and whatnot. So he hasn't
yeah,
really left
I,
the forest and the isekais. He's just camping out there. He meets the princess while training, and then so far he's just got his school life in
yeah.
Ose Academy. So nothing of that has happened yet.
I just By the way, I'm gonna post this in the Discord DMs, and I don't want to be too judgmental, but this is the cast. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I was looking
literally,
at it earlier.
it's like
Yeah,
Matsuko, you're
I was gonna
surrounded by like 50 different girls.
I
Yep.
was gonna say, like, yeah, we might as well bring up the cast now. Like, if you guys don't know who Matsuoka is, you know Kirito's voice actor.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's him.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's him. And
One
then,
of the yeah, one of the most prolific main protagonists in recent years. Main protagonists and voice
oh,
actors.
and since brought up, Nakahara Mai does indeed voice best girl in this series. So,
Yeah, a lot of these girls in the voice acting cast and the harem are pretty much all like at least like B+A casters, like just A-listers, people that would standard be at least doing one or two anime a season.
Princess
Pretty much
voiced
down
by
to them.
Kaori Maeda. I don't know who that is.
Maya Kare
Kaori
has been
voiced
on the
by Akari
explosive lineup.
Akari Kito. I don't know who that is. Shigami Suzuka.
Shitakane, who is she? Slayer of the Demons? What's that? But yeah,
Ayana
very
Taketatsu. Never heard her. She's a good character too. Hidaka Takuma Ai, Toyoma now. I've never heard of her. But yeah, it. I mean, you're right. It's basically Yoshioga Matsuoka and his harem.
yeah.
'Cause, he's a good guy. All it takes is an actual good person in this series to be likable, because everyone else is a
Mhm.
dick. But don't worry, all of his school friends are nice people too. Damn, everyone's
Again, it
nice
is a
in
little
this
bit
series.
unfortunate that, well, I don't even know whether it's unfortunate, but I think if that story, that isekai slash not isekai, quote unquote, can really turn that sort of character development shtick, I want to say. I don't think it's a full developed, like, proper story structure yet, but if they can develop that shtick into something that is more unique yet still interesting, like engaging with regards to how he talks with the harem, how he develops himself, right? After he's turned into a cool guy or whatever, right? I think it'll be a definitely interesting series. I don't want to be too judgmental in saying like, oh, because it doesn't have a standard bad villain in this isekai, it's shit. It was just a little bit puzzling. But yeah.
It really says a lot when, like, hey, you've been bullied all your life. You're kind of like Peter. You're like Spider-Man, I guess. Peter Parker. Been bullied all your life, but when you get superpowers, you're still a nice guy. And
Mhm.
it's like, if that's all it takes for me to like the protagonist, then the state of isekai protagonist is pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Anything else?
visuals. It looks good. I mean, gee, I wonder why. Pretty good. Yeah,
Okay.
it looks nice. Audio visuals, sure. I will say though that compared to there's a noticeable difference in colors or colors are saturate or lighting, I guess, because the isekai is usually dark, like darker in hue, I guess. Maybe it's because he lives in the dark forest. I don't know, maybe. But then you compare it. I mean, you can see it in the preview picture here. It's usually like darker, but then when he's in normal Japan, there's a lot of brighter colors and whatnot. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a stylistic choice. I don't know. What else? Series is all right,
Okay.
but then again, it's because the main character is marginally likable than other Sekai protagonists. Characters are all right. They're all good people, I guess. Not really a bad egg in the among them in the main cast. Then you have your pick your favorite voice actor. That's your favorite girl in the series. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
right.
What score
Is
would
it
you
the
give it?
is it the best isekai this season? No, it's second best.
What's
I
the
will
best
say
one?
Yushigashinda.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that one's more slapstick comedy, but this one, I don't know, it's fine. He does wear black armor, but whatever. How do you get what I noticed? The first enemy he defeats is a red ogre. Why does he get black armor? What's up with
The
that?
bones.
And not even black bones. He defeats the ogre and then like, oh, here's a full set of red ogre equipment. Just kidding, it's black. And I'm like, oh, all right,
Uh,
yeah.
anyways, what score
Second
would you give
best
it?
isekai, way better than Summon for a Second Time. Don't watch that. I'll give it the average score of 8 out of 10. It's fine.
Okay.
The average.
If you don't want to watch the one, go and watch Yushigashinda. That one's really good.
Okay. Anyways, thank you, Toast, for your review of I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World. I'm gonna say this clearly so that it doesn't confuse itself with the 5 other cheat skill isekai series. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too, also known in Japanese as Isekai de cheat skill を手にした俺が現実世界をもそうする。レベルアップは人生を変えた。yeah, 異世界でチート能力を手にした俺は、yeah, 現実世界をも無双するレベルアップは人生を変えた。Okay, yeah, I got that
Hold
right.
on, Spire. Do you
Um,
think this is the? Would you call this the opening act for the other type of isekai that's going to appear soon?
what do you mean other type of isekai?
The other type of isekai where, oh, I've already been in the isekai, but now I'm coming back to the real world and I have all my powers.
I don't think that's really necessarily a It's not big enough to be its own type, in my opinion.
We've
It's
heard
like it's still pretty niche. I, I don't
if you
think
count,
I don't think it's improved. I don't think that it's increased in the recent years. It's been
I think
pretty like here and there.
it
That's
might cause a resurgence soon enough. Also, if you want to
you think
count
so?
like
Maybe.
if you want to count the trope of you already in an isekai and come back to the same world, well, we already have what summoned to another world twice. If you want to count that in this same genre,
I just don't think it's the authors will never make it into a big enough thing just because I have a very cynical view of these like Japanese fan fiction isekai authors, and the last thing that they want to do is make their own writing harder on themselves. And all they want to do is they just want to write their feudal fantasy, high fantasy, like super power protagonist bashes people on the head and then goes back to farming for his miso soup or whatever it is, right?
hold on, Spire.
And he,
What feudal isekai? There's two different types.
feudal high fantasy, essentially.
No, no, I mean like
Um,
there's two different. There's a Jigoku Raku, and then there's the Middle Eastern fantasy. Which one are you talking about?
Middle Eastern. Sorry,
Okay.
I apologize. Yes. Yes. So that's all they want to write, and they don't want to go back. They don't want to go. A, they don't want to write about Japan because they think it's boring, and B, they don't want to write. They don't want to have to juggle the fact that they have to control like both worlds in the setting of the story. They would rather be lazy and just write their power fantasy in their fan fiction. So I don't think it'll become a big genre anytime soon. And so far it's like it's pretty much how it is. So but anyways, again, thank you so much, Toast, for helping cover this. This is a light novel slash web novel original that was adapted into an anime by Milipensi, also known as That TQ Studio,
Uh,
headed by Itakaki Shin.
I will say though, like I believe the anime is taking the manga art as its source because the manga
Okay, okay,
this
that's
looks
reasonable.
closer to the manga than it does to the light novel, and
Okay,
the manga
yeah,
is the one I read.
usually it does because it's like the cover art for like a lot of these things are usually a little bit more like um yeah, they're pretty different in
It
style
it
than
might depend on like how popular the artist is, maybe.
hmm. Yeah, that is also
I
true.
don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. Good point. But yeah, it is Milipensi. It's directed by Itakaki Shin, also known as one of the kind of
One of
OG
the
Gainax
worst
guys.
one of the worst writers ever, alongside Akiyuki Shimbo and Nishio Isin and Makoto Shinkai, those hacks.
We're gonna get a lot of hate mail for that. But anyways, thank you